What's up? What's up? This is Art Shimko, and welcome to a mini edition of the ArtCast. If you've the current episode I posted yesterday is up online on Podbean, YouTube, and my Facebook page if you're friends with me on Facebook. So I know I put out this dramatic statement in the last 10 hours or whatever, being like, I'm done with the show. Show's on hiatus. Yeah, I know that wouldn't last a really long time, so. But it would have been on hiatus, but I saw this really crazy fucking story yesterday, and I already had a format for the show, the first concert, episode. And I probably saw this after I recorded the episode, and I was like, oh man, I might have to do another podcast, but a mini one, just to discuss this. But before I begin, thanks again everyone for participating and sending me your comments and your memories of your first concert. My BFF sister, Jen, I forgot to mention her yesterday. Her first concert was the Girly Tour, the Madonna, when she was 12 years old. I'm assuming that would have probably been at the Core States or First Union Center Spectrum up back in Philly, where she's from and I'm from. So it was a very prominent concert for her. Madonna's a huge influence on her. Music and her dancing and everything, all because of Madonna. So there you go. I would have, I've never seen the Madonna. I'd like to see her live. She looks like she puts on a pretty badass show. So, but let's get to today's main subject of the ArtCast. Saw this yesterday. It was on ultimateclassicrock.com. There's a story about Eddie Van Halen putting a gun up to Fred Durst's head. I mean, it sounds so crazy and unreal and like what the fuck, and I haven't seen this discussed or posted too much, at least amongst my friends. Maybe other people are. I'm waiting to see someone make a YouTube video about this who does music news and stuff. But it came out of a jam session that Eddie had with Limp Bizkit, according to a gentleman by the name of Andrew Bennett, who's releasing a new photo book called Eruption in the Canyon: 212 Days and Nights with the Genius of Eddie Van Halen. This guy Andrew Bennett, he followed the band around between 2004 and 2007 in her studio. He was taking photos and such, and he was going to put little facts or anecdotes or whatever along with the photos and such. And well, the band, they weren't really pleased with his result, and as a result of that, there was a big legal battle over the ownership of the photos, and it looks like Bennett won because he's releasing this book. And I want to check it out because that's got to be really cool to check out behind the scenes, and see, the band and the master Eddie Van Halen at work. But this story is fucking great. So apparently, Westmoreland had just left Limp Bizkit, and they were auditioning guitarists. So Eddie Van Halen and Fred Durst just happened to be at this party in California. And the record label guy was like, hey, you guys should jam. And Fred Durst was like, shit. He's like, that would be fucking hilarious. He's the greatest guitarist in the world playing with the worst band ever. And, but Eddie was like, yeah, fuck, let's do it. He had time on his hands and stuff. So he went to this session out in Beverly Hills where the band was rehearsing in this house. And immediately sounds like Eddie was not into, he wasn't into it. He wasn't into the scene. The funny thing is he's a smoker, but he's apparently not a weed smoker. He's not a fan of it. And the Limp Bizkit crew and all, they were all like lighting up, joints and shit or whatever, and he didn't like it. In fact, Eddie despised it so much that he left all his shit behind in the rehearsal house. He just left all his guitars and amps and all this other shit, pedals, whatever, cables, just left it all there and just left. He was just fucking fed up with it. And Eddie said it was like, quote, like being a scholar amongst kindergartners, which is such an appropriate observation of the situation. So apparently the next day, Eddie's like, hey man, I need to get my fucking equipment back. And he was still like really like pissed off about the whole thing and stuff. Like, he was just like, oh wait, this is a waste of time, whatever. So he contacted Fred Durst, and Durst didn't like reply for like a whole day or something. And Eddie got like really fucking pissed off, and he's like, fuck this, I'm gonna take this into my own hands. So apparently he has this this military assault vehicle with like a gun mount in the back, which is totally illegal. But like Eddie, like, he fucking careens down, the road or whatever to going through LA, gets to Beverly Hills, parks the fucking assault vehicle like right in the front lawn, leaves it running. He's like, they describe it. He's like, he's wearing Bennett was describing him. He's like wearing no shirt. His hair's in like a samurai bun, like fucking John Belushi or something. He's got his jeans held up with a strand of rope and combat boots held together by duct tape. This is one of the fucking greatest guitarists in the world. He created a whole genre, of guitar technique for like, 2 decades worth of up and coming guitarists, and he's in this getup. And he had a gun in his hand because he goes to the door. Durst answers the door, and Eddie was telling Bennett, he's like, quote, I put my gun to that stupid fucking red hat of his and I said, where's my shit, motherfucker? That fucking guy just turned to one of his employees and started yelling at him to grab my shit. And then he's like, Eddie Van Halen stood out in the front lawn of a residential home in Beverly Hills in broad daylight, smoking a cigarette and holding a gun on Fred Durst as he went back and forth from the house to the assault vehicle, lugging amps and guitars. I mean, that fucking scene, I want to see that in a movie. I mean, if they ever make a Van Halen movie or a Limp Bizkit movie, which I don't know why, maybe VH1 would make a cheeseball version of it and would probably be more entertaining than, their career itself. But fucking, I want to see that. I mean, I'm imagining it in my head. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, first off, Eddie Van Halen jamming with Limp Bizkit. I mean, that's like, what? I mean, there's, I've heard of like really unique collaborations and such, and and whatever. But Eddie Van Halen and Limp Bizkit, I would have liked to have heard what that would have sounded like. I would have loved to hear. It could have been interesting. But it could have just been like, well, it's Limp Bizkit with with Van Halen riffs in it or whatever, and who knows how that was, because Wes is a way different guitarist. Like Wes is a really good guitarist. He's probably like the best, member of that band, talent wise and stuff. And his techniques and just his playing it really fit that band really well. And he's done some really interesting solo stuff. So, but yeah, man, I wanted to talk about that story. If anybody has read it, leave a comment below in the post here. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would think of a Limp Bizkit Eddie Van Halen collaboration, and let me know if you'd want to see a movie, at least just to see that scene. I mean, it would probably be like a 5 to 10 minute scene, but it would be like the most epic part of whatever movie, that they would be making. So, oh my God. I said, it's a crazy, crazy story, man. I hope, I saw a couple of my friends post the article, and I'm sure they had quite a few what the fuck reactions. I'm still like, what the fuck about it too. It's hilarious. I'm just fucking like laughing when I'm listening to it. So, but, all right, folks, I'm going to wrap this up. I just wanted to talk about that and how much it amuses me and how interesting that collaboration could be. But just the scenario itself is just epic all around. And I want to pick up that book because I want to see the photos of Van Halen and the studio stuff and like whatever. It sounds like it's really interesting, and see the text and stuff and like quotes, whatever. Should be cool. But again, thanks for listening. This is Art Shimko for the ArtCast. I don't know if this is going to be episode 5 or maybe episode 4.5. We'll see. But thanks again, and I love you all, and you take care.